There, my name is Rohit Kumar, and today we are going to discuss another journal. And this particular journal is dealing with the pattern analysis and machine intelligence. Its name is IEEE Transactions on Pattern Analysis and Machine Intelligence. So, as you can see, that it's an IEEE transaction. And for beginners who don't know about the term transaction, so transaction is a particular category of journals where it is supposed to believe that this category of journals is offering or are supposed to offer a very fine quality of research with respect to the focus of journal. So here you can see that this particular journal means transaction is supposed to offer the fine quality pattern analysis and machine intelligence research. So considering its research quality, here you can see that impact factor is 16.389, which is a very, very good impact factor. And it is one of the top niche journal of IEEE. But point is that can we say that only impact factor is the criteria to judge the quality of a journal or transaction? No. So first, I think we will see its indexing. Secondly, we have to see whether the journal is Q1 ranked, and then we will consider the impact factor. So in my understanding, firstly we'll go for the indexing. So as if you here on the IEEE web page only, if you try to search for its indexing, then you will not get the indexing related information. Only this sort of informations are available here. So as you can see that some of the basic matrices are available here. All these metrics meanings I have already explained in my multiple videos, so I'm not going to explain again. But the basic information that you will get, that you can access at the homepage, are the author resources, including the submission guidelines, submit manuscript, author central, becoming the reviewer, additional information, and the open access options. Then the editor-in-chief is the Yamuli, and he is the ECA department professor in Seoul National University, South Korea. So in this way, some of the basic informations are presented at the homepage. And if you compare in terms of information provided at the homepage, then I think elsewhere's presentation is way better than IEEE. So elsewhere beats IEEE in this particular competition of ease of access and the presentability. So the presentation is very good at elsewhere sites. As you can go and check one of my videos, those are discussing any of the elsewhere journal. So here let's see one by one that what are the different thing at the homepage. So at homepage you can see that these are the different matrices, and in total, if you don't want to delve into much details, then just focus on impact factor. Okay. Now second thing, that what is the aim and focus. So here you can see that this particular transaction focuses on publishing the articles related to all traditional areas of computer vision and image understanding. Now, the traditional areas of pattern analysis and recognition includes so many other subdomains and the subtopics. So, if you are working in the field of image processing or the vision, then I hope you might be already familiar with all these terms. But selected areas of machine intelligence, and specifically in the name itself it is mentioned that machine intelligence. So machine intelligence is in focus. Okay, so in general, if you don't know or if you don't find any specific aim or the scope with respect to any particular journal, I will always suggest that only look at the journals or the transactions name. Okay, so here, if your topic or your research is anyway related to the pattern analysis or machine intelligence, I think this transaction or journals aim and scope maps with your research. Okay, but in any way means it is not like this that only a very small portion of your research is related to pattern analysis and machine intelligence. So it should not be like this. If your majority of your portion means your major research focus is on pattern analysis and machine intelligence, I think this journal or any of the journal focusing on the pattern analysis is a suitable choice for you. Okay, coming down, and here obviously machine intelligence is quite useful in the field of handwriting analysis, medical image analysis, video and image sequential analysis, content based retrieval of images and videos, then the gesture and the face recognition, etc. Okay, so all these things are already in the scope of this particular transaction. Additionally, this transaction considers the article which are gone through the peer reviewed process in accordance with the requirements set forth in the IEEE PSPB operation manual. So it's an operation manual, and if you want to know about it much more, then you can click on this particular link and you can get the information. So this manual states that how to process the articles received for publication in this particular journal. Okay, so each article received is reviewed by minimum of 2 independent reviewers. Okay, and it uses a single blind review process. Single blind review means the identity of the reviewers is not known to the authors, as mentioned here also. Okay, the identities of the reviewers are not known to the authors, but the reviewer know the identities of authors. In simple terms, I want to tell you that whenever you are submitting your work to a particular journal or transaction, then you usually mention that I am working in this particular department of this particular organization. Okay, so your name, your organization, your affiliation, all these things are mentioned in the manuscript explicitly, and that's how the reviewers get to know that these are the authors of this particular work. So in this way, you don't know about the reviewers, but reviewers would know about you. So it is the single blind peer review process. Means one side is blind, means you don't know about reviewers. But if some way you don't know about reviewer and reviewers also don't know about you, means the authors, then it is called double blind peer review process. So some of the journals or transaction also follow the double blind review peer process, and the journals following double blind review peer process, those are supposed to be considered of better quality, or at least their ethical guidelines are supposed to be considered better. Okay, because in any way the chances of non-ethical practices are less in comparison to the single blind review peer process. Coming down here are the author's resources. So if you want to know that what are the submission guidelines, what are should be the format, length, then the flag and all the details, then you can go here. And the submitting manuscript means to submit your manuscript, all the details are available under this hyperlink. Then the author central related details are provided here. Then if you want to become the reviewer, then you can submit your request, then additional information is provided. So if you want to see that what sort of additional information is provided with respect to this particular journal, that you can click, and then here you can see that the trending articles, announcements, and other related information. Additionally, the current issue, past issue, early access are provided here. Okay, now these sort of some of the information like early access and etc. are provided here also. You can see that some of the popular articles, then the early access, then the current issues, all issues about the journal. So we are only interested right now in about the journals. So in about the journals, here you can see that whatever aim and scope we have already discussed is given over here. Then the publication related details are provided here, that it's a peer review journal, and peer review is very vital to maintain the quality of the research. Now coming down here, you can see the publication fee. The publication is supported by subscriptions and applicable article processing charges. Okay, so every journal has a particular length that is well defined in the guidelines, and if you see the author's guidelines, then you will see that a journal is accepting 8 pages or 10 pages manuscript, and if your manuscript is ranging beyond that, then the extra pages charges you have to give. So here the article processing charges or the subscription charges are the charges, those are mandatory, and additionally the extra page charges might be there if your manuscript is of more than the length that is stated by the guidelines of the particular journal or transaction. So here the related policies links are also given, that copyright licensing, post publication information, advertising, publishing ethics, etc. Okay, so in this way you can see that different sorts of information, and this transaction or the journal is sponsored by IEEE Computer Society, which is a very popular society of IEEE. So if you are a member of IEEE Computer Society, then I think you can read the articles published in IEEE Transaction on Pattern Analysis and Machine Intelligence free of cost, or you have to be IEEE member, and you should have the institutional login or something like that. Okay, because there are different hierarchies of memberships, and if you take the membership of a particular society, then the journals sponsored by that particular society only you can access, and if you are only simple IEEE member, then only some of the basic details or the informations are available for you. So in this way, you can see that what is here the frequency of the transaction is also listed. Frequency is 12. So I think once a month the transaction gets published. So that's why means you can also decide it means if you want to get your work published quickly, then you can target this particular transaction because frequency is 12. So once a year, 12 times they publish or select accept the works. Okay. Now the aim and scope publication details. Now the subjects. Okay, bioengineering, computing and processing, etc. They have shown here. And coming down, so I think we have covered most of the things. Now coming to the early access. Early access means the works which are recently accepted but not published in their standard format. Means if I open a particular work, then you will get to know. So here I click and you will get to know about the early access. But as I don't have the subscription of IEEE, that's why I am unable to see the full length version of this particular PDF. Okay, so early access means at the top of the document only it is written that this particular article has been accepted for the future publication in this particular journal or transaction. Okay, but some of the formatting might be different than the usual published articles in that particular journal or transaction. So that is the thing from my side, and some of the supplementary items, etc. These are the things available here. If you want to get into touch early access, why early access and current issues are important, by seeing the early access articles, you can have a notion of understanding that which types of articles means a survey or the practical based. Additionally, what are the key domains or the keywords which are under focus of this particular transaction right now. Okay, so you can see that in 2022 these of the works have been accepted, and all these works are talking about some specific key technologies or domains. So here the feature selection or the graph regularization. Okay, then here learning, and here you can see the matching, the generalized knowledge distillation, and so knowledge dissemination, and diagnosing and preventing instabilities in video processing, then cross-modal learning, then 3D semantic segmentation, and the derivating image captioning means image, video, and the kind of segmentation related processing they have discussed a lot in the recently accepted articles. So if your work is anyhow related to all these sort of techniques or supervised and supervised kind of learning, means machine learning or deep learning related sort of things, or some of the related technologies like GANs, so I think you have a perfect mapping with this particular transaction, so you can go for publishing in this. Okay. Additionally, if you want to see that since when it is started, so you can click on all the issues, and then you will have the information that 1970s it is started, and then it is in 90s, 2000, and so on. The journals are available here, so quite old journal, and you can consider for publishing, but your work it has to be of very high quality, then only it will get accepted, because the journal is quite old and its impact factor is very high. Now coming to whether the journal is SCI or not. So when we see that at home page, the indexing of IEEE transactions or journals are not provided, and it's not a good thing, because you have to move to other site, and there you have to check Web of Science or somewhere, or the Clarivate site you can jump onto. But in elsewhere, this thing is very good that at the home page only you will get all the abstracting and indexing related information, and that's why it is very easy for a general user or a beginner to get all the details related to the journal at the single place. Okay, so we'll see the information related to here. Here only we'll put what is the transaction. So SCI list, we simply type. So here you can see the Clarivate site is listed here. So here Web of Science, Clarivate, if you put down the name of the journal or transaction and you search, then it will search for you. And here you can see that it is coming from the core collection of SCIE, means Size Citation Index Expanded. Okay, and that's why the journal is SCI. So in this way, you can check whether your journal means IEEE is SCI or not, because at elsewhere you can find at the homepage, but in IEEE you have to go to that particular page only. Now we have seen two major things. One is the SCI indexing, and this particular transaction is SCIE. And the second thing, that impact factor is very good. But the second most important thing is Q ranking. So let's see the Q ranking also. So at SCI Mago site, we are supposed to search this particular transaction. Here it is, and we can search. You can see the H index is so powerful. 372. Usually the H index more than 100 is very good, but here you can see it is close to 400. Okay, so it is very, very, very good. Okay, but again, the acceptance rate becomes very less in very high impact factor or H index journals. And usually if a journal is having very good impact factor as well as very good H index, then the journal is short very good. Okay, so you are supposed to consider your research for this particular journal. If your research is lying in any of these two tracks, so you can consider that it's a USA journal, and the two particular tracks are computer science and mathematics. In mathematics, applied mathematics is the subtrack, and here are the artificial intelligence, computational theory and mathematics, computer vision and pattern recognition and softwares. Okay, now the publisher is IEEE Computer Society, and type is journal, ISSN number is provided, and the coverage is quite wide. You can see 1978 to 2020. Okay, now coming down here, you can see perfect. Here it is very rare, very, very rare that a journal started since long and it is maintaining its all quartile ranking as Q1. And you can see Q1, 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 Q1. And since 19, means they have shown from 1999 only. So still it is very good, means more than 20 years, and they are able to maintain all as Q1. Okay, so now you can imagine how powerful this journal is. Okay, additionally, when a journal is very powerful, then there are very less chances that your work get accepted there, unless it is having very high quality. Okay, and many times people do also use sort of techniques to include the name of some very powerful or very influential author in their work to just get accepted into these sort of transactions or journals. Okay, so many debates always go on in the research communities, and I'm just telling or usually tell my audience about all these debates and the rumors or the kind of ambiguous terms or the ambiguous notions of publishing and understanding, because many of the newbies don't know that what is the current research practices and the environments, and what are the different myths or the different kind of practices those are going on in the research communities. So having some sort of experience in this particular domain, I always try to put forward whatever understanding I have. But in any way, if I'm wrong, please comment it down below, and I would love to hear your criticism, and would love to have a better understanding of research or its current practice guidelines which are going on in the industry right now. So please don't hesitate whenever or wherever you are having a contradiction from my thoughts. Please comment down below and let me know that I'm wrong somewhere. Okay. Now coming to the quartiles. So these are the quartiles we have already seen under two tracks, and all are Q1. Now, additionally, when the journal is so powerful, so very less chances that your work is supposed to get accepted. So there should be some alternate set of journals. So here are the similarity index based other journals where you can consider your work for acceptance. So International Journal of Computer Vision and Image Understanding, Image and Vision Computing, Computational Visual Media. So visual media is so powerful nowadays, and that's why the computer vision and the image processing related work is so much in practice. And that's why these journals research impact you can see easily. Okay. So these are some of the alternative journals where you can consider your work for publication if it didn't get accepted in IEEE transaction on pattern analysis and machine intelligence. Coming down here, you can see that the SGR graph is very low in 2020, but again, it's quite common in many of the journals. But total number of documents are on surge. Okay, here you can see it's going on rise sharply. Then the citations per documents drastically went down in last 2 years. Okay, and it's a serious issue as per my understanding, because it should be up, because in last 2 years the electronic activity went on high. Then the total number of citations and the self citation, this gap is good, and that's why the self citations are very less, though these are 171, but still very less in comparison to 21,000. Okay, so you can imagine. Additionally, you can see that consistently this citation per document line is mapping with the external citation per document, and this is very good thing, because the self citation should be minimal, and in this way means the editorial board or the journal can claim that they are maintaining so good ethical lines, means ethical guidelines with respect to publishing in their journal. Okay, so coming down here is the international collaboration, and it is going down and a very sharp decrease in 2020. Now the non-citable documents are almost nil, but somewhere they are present, and in 2020 these are 20 due to some, might be due to some ethical guidelines violation or something like that. Then the number of uncited documents you can see are very less, 36 only. However, 607 means 607 documents are cited in 2020 only. So you can see that the number of citable documents, again the citable documents, they is dependent on the notion that how many authors are working in your field. So you can have an idea that how many different authors or the institutions are working in the field of machine intelligence and pattern recognition. Okay, so here I think you have got the idea about this particular journal in well way. And finally, it's a overall Q1. This widget shows that it's a Q1 journal with respect to applied mathematics as well as the computer communication and networks, computer science. Now, coming down to the final conclusion, so I will say that journal is of A plus category, because it means it's an elite class journal. So first best thing that IEEE processes their articles or the transactions or the journals very fast. So in the 2.5 months or 3 months, you will get the first review, most probably. Second thing that it's an SCI. Third thing that it's a Q1, and fourth thing that impact factor is very good, 16 point something. So in this way, journal is a marvelous to go, means it's a marvelous choice, and you should definitely go if your research maps with the aim and scope of this particular journal. Okay, so thanks for watching this particular video and staying with me. And if you want to say something, if you didn't have compliance with my statements or with my views somewhere, please let me know. Definitely I will consider your thoughts, and will value your criticism, and will try to improve my next video. Thanks for watching again. Thank you so much. Happy learning.